Today we're here at the Schrockbier Old Smokehouse. We're going to be reviewing their food, and also stay tuned for later in the video where I'm going to have an interview with the owners of the restaurant itself. All right, this is the Chicken Hawaiian Club. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty. The Chicken Hawaiian Club is actually super fire. All right, now on to corn. I like the mix of stuff in it. Yeah, the corn is really good. Overall review of the Schrockbier Old Smokehouse. I actually loved it a lot. The Hawaiian Chicken Club is super good. And not only that, the pulled pork sandwich, all of their smoked meats are amazing. This is the video with Schrockbier Old Smokehouse owners right here, Kim and Chris. And the first question I wanted to ask you guys is who or what inspired you to start this journey of being business owners, and not only business owners, but restaurant owners as well?
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So in my last job for a long time, we've been wanting to be missionaries and do mission work and stuff for our church, and we just felt like God was telling us that it's time to get out of regular work and stuff. So we started a beef jerky business, and it was going pretty good. Went well actually for a good long time, and then we just kind of fell into this also. So I guess that's what you would say.
Kind of kicked off, and you guys really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed serving.
There was a lot with the jerky. We did events all over. So we traveled quite a bit. So when we traveled, we actually went to like the poor side of the towns and fed the poor and ministered to them as well. And then it started growing into putting our jerky into the store. And we had 52 stores at one time. And this was all during COVID time. So we started this business during COVID. It was like right before COVID, and it flourished
then
right
during
COVID. And we went to events everywhere. It was a struggle, and it started getting a struggle probably a year into it because supplies were on such demand, and our jerky was the only jerky marinated in a dark beer.
Okay.
So,
and it still is.
It still is.
Cool. That's cool. I like how it was the only jerky that's awesome.
Yeah, the only jerky on the market that was marinated in a dark beer in our spices. So it's dry smoked, so it wasn't it's still a little tender, but it has that smoke flavor, and you can definitely taste the beer in it.
So instead of a dehydrator,
okay,
like a lot of people use dehydrators, we use the smoker, just like they used to smoke the meats and stuff. Like when it first started, I mean, as far as like jerky way back. So we just decided we wanted to keep it try to do it as authentic as possible. It's cool, except for the dark beer marinade. But I mean, yeah.
That's cool though. I love how you still use the smoker and stuff for it. And what is that process like? How long do you have to leave it in that smoker for?
Well, it really depends on how much you're doing.
That's fair.
So as far as large batches, could take like 6 to 8, 10 hours maybe, depending on how wet the meat is. Basically,
Right.
smaller batches may only take like 2 to 4 hours.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And so, what are some things that you guys stress about on a daily basis, being a business owner or for the restaurant?
Where do we start?
Well, I know it's everything, the high prices. The meats are so expensive right now, and trying to make it affordable for other people and for us to have a living as well. So we have to balance that too. And I know we run into, because sometimes the brisket isn't in our budget, and so people would get upset sometimes with us because they don't have brisket. But also, a lot of people don't understand too is that our meats, they're not like a quick fix kind of meats. They
Right.
mean
Like I have to plan ahead because like a lot of the meats take several hours, like 12, 14 hours, 16 hours, depending on what I'm doing. So if I don't plan way ahead and how much I'm doing, and then the next day when it's done, we have a big rush. And it's odd how it works. It's like some days everybody wants brisket, some days everybody wants pork, or and when we run low, we're not like other places. We don't just have hamburgers that you can just flip on and cook in 30 seconds or whatever.
Right.
So it is hard to try to get that balanced out. That's stressful.
And taxes are high.
Oh yeah, I'm sure taxes.
So I mean, with being a new business owners, we didn't realize how much like payroll taxes are, and then you got food taxes on top of your taxes already. It's trying to find how to balance all of that. That's really stressful, and
but you do a good job.
I try. I try to budget for unexpected things and stuff like that. But I think that's our biggest is we just want people to come and enjoy the food and not worry about, it's going to break their bank.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And so, how does the organization for bookkeeping and like the accounting side of things look for you guys?
That's you.
Yeah,
that's a question.
I do QuickBooks quite a bit, and I have to keep up with our expenses and categorizing them. By our projectiles. I mean, every month we have it's growing.
Right.
So we're on target to almost triple what we're making now.
We chart everything. So we actually have a program that charts it, and it just see it going. Yeah. So it is. It's just a slow process in that. But
But then once the legacy reaches its point where you're like, you can look back and you're like, wow, like we have multiple locations now.
Yeah.
I have it'd be really cool to experience that and be like, oh, okay, now I'm able to hire people. I'm able to it's really cool.
Yeah, it sure is.
And so I was reading that Chris, you started smoking food when you were young, learning everything that from your father. I think it's really badass that you were continuing on what your father taught you and continuing on a legacy that I assume that your father was enjoyed and cared about as well.
Yeah. So when I was young, I mean, my dad, he did a lot of the cooking in the house. My mom did a lot of cooking. He did a lot of cooking. But of course, my dad liked cooking outdoors a lot too. And he would smoke turkeys for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And I kind of learned to love it from him.
Right.
And as I got older and I moved away, and I actually was in Alaska. When I lived in Alaska, I started doing all different kinds of meats. I started smoking stuff. I mean, we were smoking salmon, we were smoking, moose and caribou, whatever I could get a hold of. So we did. It really took off then. Is when I started doing a lot more on my own. Right. And when I came back here to Kansas, I just continued to do it because there's really so much you can do with it. There's a big diversity. I mean, you can smoke anything from meats to fish to vegetables and desserts. I mean, we have desserts that we smoke.
We smoke
That's cool.
Yeah, fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
We have certain fruits that we
Yeah.
smoke for different
Or
cobblers and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's very diverse, and so I was able to really integrate all these different things into our smokehouse.
I love that. And the Alaska part. That's badass. I couldn't imagine being in Alaska and smoking some caribou and like,
Yeah, hard
Lord.
to keep it lit sometimes. It was pretty cold, but yeah, no, it was good though. I mean, it was a good experience. And everything. So.
Okay. And so, while I was reading during the time of when you were younger, that was around like the 1980s ish, 1990s. And then, so I noticed that it jumps to 2017, where it explains that you had started the beef jerky thing as a hobby for friends and family and stuff. And I was curious is if we could get maybe some information as to what could have happened between the dates of 2000 and 2016 that may be important to you guys.
As far as the business of going into the jerky business, I don't know really. I mean,
well, I know like he was in the military, and so he's a veteran, and so he had a lot of things going on. We've just been married for the last 10 years, 9 years,
9 years,
and
I remember.
I know. And so, as a single mother, raising my 4 children, I was in the restaurant business. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 17.
Right.
So, and this is like my 4th or 5th restaurant opening.
Wow, really?
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and I never wanted.
this is her first
Yeah.
of her own.
Of her
Okay,
own.
okay,
So
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
So I never wanted a restaurant because I've been in the restaurant. I know how hard it is.
Right.
You know, I tried to convince him, I don't think you want to do this. But
Better-
it's been good.
I love that. And then, so I also read that barbecue food itself started out to be your guys' own catering gig for like barbecue food. And would you guys do like, so like when you said that you went to events and stuff, would you guys do like your booths and stuff at like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
A lot of the events we went to, because we went all over the United States. I mean, we've been to Louisiana, South Dakota, Texas, all over doing events. A lot in Kansas, Oklahoma, stuff like that.
Right.
And those were mostly just for our beef jerky.
Yeah.
And then we started doing actually the farmers market here a few different times. We did some barbecue food also.
Right.
And I was like, man, it was fun.
It was
So
fun.
it was a good time.
Yeah.
So the last year, I mean, this all happened in the last year.
Last
It's
May.
been a
Last
ride.
We started.
Last May,
Yeah. He was working for Michelin. And
which was a good job, I want to say. Yeah, I liked it.
We did.
But,
And we just took a leap of faith, and we're just like, this is make it or break it. What's
Right.
the worst that's going to happen?
Right.
So we set up at Tractor Supply, and American Legion, they happened to have a big kitchen they said that we can use.
Okay, that's
And
cool.
so
we
started,
rented it out.
Yep. And then
Love
we
that.
sold it out at Tractor Supply from May to July. And we
Wow.
would stay in storms and heat.
Oh,
We didn't care. We were going to, because this
We
is
went
like make it
through-
and break it, right?
we went through at least how
Oh,
many
my
tents?
gosh.
2 different tents.
Oh, yeah. We've
Oh
been
wow!
through
Like the tarps.
Storms blowing.
Yeah, we have video of us like holding the tents, storming outside. There's water
It was
up to our
crazy.
ankles.
Yeah.
I love that.
We couldn't go home until the food was gone.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yep.
So-
You had to
And-
make it or break it.
Yep, that's what it was.
It was cool because, I mean, even though there was that one time where we had the tent had kind of caved in and I taped it like some duct tape and got it to where it was staying, and it was still storming. But as soon as that rain stopped, we had people pulling in.
Oh,
Yes.
They're like, "Hey, we saw you guys out here during
Yeah.
the storm." But yeah,
Yep.
yeah, so but
Yep, that's exactly how it was at. I don't know if you guys have ever been to in downtown KC. Last year they had it at the Crossroads. It was the Canterbrew the Canterbrew Festival, and it was like a glass blowers and like a art, and also there was some food there and stuff like that. And they just a bunch of different vendors and stuff were
Yeah.
there selling their products and stuff. and it has like absolutely rained us out. So I was a vendor at that time for like custom hats and stuff, and it absolutely rained us out, and we all had to like huddle underneath this bigger tent, and there was still people that would be coming into the festival, and they would be running, and then they would get to the bigger tent, and they're like, all right, where's all the stuff at?
Right.
Like they're still ready to like be there and be involved, even though it's fucking storming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we're diehards, those us vendors. This is our livelihood, so we can't just pick up and go.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
we did it
do that.
out there at Tractor Supply until we hit the hundreds, the 105, 110. It was getting so hot. And the American Legion actually opened up to us and said, hey, we know it's got to be hot out there. Why don't you guys start selling it out of here?
Yeah.
So then we started selling out of the American Legion, and we did that for several months. And it worked really good, but it was such a small amount of people and a smaller area. And from there, we just kind of rolled and eventually ended up here.
Yeah.
And this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
This is
perfect.
it's a perfect, right.
It is. It's a great
We're still
location.
renovating it and
Yep.
still working on things.
We're still decorating. So,
This is all our artwork. Everything that's here, we do ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
The painting is all ours. Everything that you see is ours.
except for the paintings we buy, but yeah.
But we try to bring our artwork into it too, because we have a passion for art as
awesome.
well. Because food is an art, you
Right,
know.
exactly.
And
Culinary arts
yes,
is beautiful.
It is. It's all about presentation
Exactly.
and atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
If you have those two, and service is such a big thing for me. I make sure I want my servers to say hi to everyone, get to know everyone that's coming in.
Greet them, be nice, serve them.
Yeah.
I mean,
And just make sure that when people come in here, have a good time, and they just want just not the food, but the atmosphere.
Right, exactly. And honestly, you guys do a great job of doing that.
Thank
Not
you.
only that, with you being like front house management and
Yeah.
you like teaching your servers, like
Yeah.
that other woman,
Jamie.
she's very nice.
Yes.
She's really good at her job.
She's on it. She's on it.
we've been blessed with our
Yes.
employees. We really
have.
have.
All our employees have been such wonderful employees.
Well, most.
Yeah.
Most of them.
But,
yeah.
so far, the employees that we do have are they're awesome. They love people. They love serving. And
they like working here. A lot of them do.
Right.
And I believe in, like, if you have good bosses, that you're going to have good servers, you know?
I mean, that's true. If you are a manager or an employer,
Mhm.
or if you are in a administrative position and you do not respect the people that work underneath of you,
Yeah.
you can't expect them to come back and work for you again.
Right.
And expect
And that's
to
going to carry over to the customers too.
Yes.
If you have unhappy employees,
Exactly.
guess what?
Yes.
Right.
So so that's one big thing that's really important. I mean, it's important to get the food right and get it good,
Right.
but nobody's going to want to come back if it's a poor environment. So,
Exactly.
So we like to keep our employees happy. It's not always about money. It's about how you treat them and stuff.
You guys do an excellent job at that.
Well, thank you.
Honestly, like this is such a great environment to just be in, just to hang out in.
Yeah.
Just
Not even honestly to come in here and eat. Come in here and just talk. And
We
it's-
have people come in and they'll get some appetizers and a
Just
beer,
chat.
and they'll just sit and talk
Yeah.
and hang out. I mean, literally, like they'll hang out for like an hour
Yeah.
or more. I mean, just
We've had people start singing to our music.
I love that.
Sing along.
Tables.
Yeah,
Our
sing
servers
along.
will start singing with them. So
That's awesome.
That's
I
cool.
just want something like cozy and fun, and
And so, with you being the back of the house management and with you having the control of the front of the house,
Mhm.
did you guys end up going to school or getting any like personal qualifications to then like look not necessarily better in that position, but to like get more qualifications from the state and stuff?
No, not
Mhm.
really. I mean, most of the stuff that we do, and as far as getting qualified to do this stuff, was all stuff that we just figured out on our own.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of it, and through the grace of God, we just pulled it off somehow.
yeah.
And,
We definitely was pulling it off. Because,
Yeah. But everything
Yeah.
has seemed to kind of work out pretty good.
Yeah.
So as far as like anything else that we need, you know, we have a lot of good people that have come to us and they're like, hey, you might want to check this out or do this or do that. I mean, just like you showing up and doing this.
Right.
And it's like, you know, we've just been blessed with everything.
Exactly.
We have mentors too. Like I have family in Branson that own 4 different restaurants.
Okay, so you kind of go to them if you have any questions.
And they're great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
I come from a family of people that have been in the food service, and I feel like it's if you take all your life lessons and take it to heart and you grow with it, whatever you want to do in your life, no matter what it is, you will flourish by learning lessons and being humbling yourself and taking advice from older, younger, from whoever.
Right.
Always be open. Always be open to criticism, as long as it's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But learn from your mistakes. I mean, if somebody makes it, and we tell our employees the same thing. If you mess up, you know, learn from it, and we'll work through it. Keep going. It's not the end. Just go. I had our shelf fall on my head today. I mean, like the whole shelf crashed down, and our servers just like stopped. And I'm like, I'm right in the middle of doing like we had an 8 top out here, and I'm like making it, and the whole thing, bowls, everything fell, and I was just like, let's go, you know, let's get it cleaned up, and let's keep going. And it's the same type of thing. I mean, if you make a mistake, learn from it, move on.
Right.
And so that's kind of how we.
Yeah, and we want, this is our first restaurant. We want to open up another one in the Branson area.
Oh, that would be that would be badass. I think it would. I think that location would blow the fuck up.
Oh
yeah. So
and we got, and like she said, we got family there that's like, you know, I'm sure they would be willing to be like, whatever. I mean, they have said that. Once this gets up and going good and everything's rolling, who knows?
Yeah, right? We haven't had any handouts. We haven't had any kind of not fundraiser, any kind of
like
donations or anything like that. We just had our friends would come up and they'll say, hey, we just felt like we wanted to give you this money to help you out here, but we don't have any like bank loans or anything like that.
Right.
We started out with
no loans, nothing, just like full winging it.
We just pretty much,
I mean, really, with no loans, then you don't have debt.
Right.
Right.
So well, we have like little
loans, but
debts, nothing like thousands or hundreds or anything like that.
But really, a lot of our equipment and our tables and our stuff, I mean, she did a lot of it just like looking for stuff. And we found stuff that was like immensely cheap and it's still good. And it's like, I'm just like amazed.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Like,
some
where
people
did this come from?
Literally, some people will throw away something that they believe is crap or they believe is trash. Exactly.
Or they're just done with it and want to get rid of it. And I'm like, so we picked up a lot of our stuff.
Just little elbow grease.
We might have had to travel. We had to travel. We had to clean it, had to fix it or whatever. But
it's all working out and we love it. We love our place. This is like, I just love it, you know, and there's going to be more great things happening here. We got things coming in the future, putting new tables in and booths and stuff like that. So
new menu items, new menus.
Yes. We have new menu items coming up.
We're getting ready to start a menu item or menu.
I've been working on that for about a week now. So
hell yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and so this was the interview with the Schrockbier Old Smokehouse owners. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and go ahead and go check out their smokehouse. It's right here in Emporia. All right, thank you. Perfect.
That was fun.